So my name is Alejandro,
My name is Grace Ann Worley.
My name is Angela Garcia Brockman.
My name is Vanessa Panduro.
and we're going to be doing our virtual facilitation on cerebral palsy. So why is it important to understand CP? Understanding CP can develop an understanding on differences. It could also form a sense of inclusivity, and it could also help people develop respect for individuals that are affected by CP and other disabilities. And according to the Disability and Health Journal, population studies from around the world reported that CP estimates to range about 1.5 to more than 4 per 1,000 live births of children of any defined age. So what is CP? So the CDC defines CP as a group of disorders that affects a person's ability to move and maintain balance and posture. This disease is most common in childhood, and the symptoms of CP vary from person to person. So severe symptoms can be severe to mild, or require minimal equipment, or require bedside monitoring. So what can cause CP? The CDC claims CP to be abnormal brain development or damage, and CP can be caused by congenital or acquired factors. And then for right here, congenital is a brain injury that occurs before or during birth, and some causes that can lead to that is a low birth weight, premature birth, multiple births. And acquired is a brain damage that occurs more than 28 days after birth. And this can be due to brain infection, traumatic brain injury, or trouble with oxygenation. So what are some of the types of different CP? First one is spasticity, and spasticity CP affects about 80% of people with CP, and this is increased muscle tone, which is awkward or stiff movements due to tense muscles. So there's monoplegia, spasticity, hemiplasia, which is half of the body, one side, diplegia, which are just bottom legs, and quadriplegia, which affects all limbs and the face. Another type of CP is dyskinesia, and this is problems with controlling movement of hands, arms, feet, and legs, and movements can be jerky, rapid, slow, or uncontrollable. And here are some examples of what that would look like. And finally, there's ataxia CP, which is issues with problems with balance and coordination, and issues with being able to walk easily. And some tests for that can be depth perception. There's an issue with a child being able to touch the bunny, and often children with ataxia have been known to look as if they're walking drunkenly. We are going to be moving on to recreational activity now, which is going to be called positive painting with palsy, and Vanessa will give some information about the benefits of painting.
All right, so studies on children participating in art stuff like music, drawing, painting have shown higher levels of well-being. A lot of people with disabilities such as cerebral palsy believe they can't participate in these activities because they are not given the adaptive instruction and tools that are needed for them to participate.
So before we get started with our activity, I want to do a few stretches with you guys. So the first one that we're going to do is a shoulder stretch. So we're going to raise one arm, and we're going to put it back. We're going to push it down, just softly. We're going to hold that for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Or you could also do this.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And then we're going to switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And then our next stretch is going to be, you're going to take your arm and you're going to put it over your chest across. And then you're going to push it in slightly. We're going to hold that for 10 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So our next and final stretch is going to be a trunk twist. So what you're going to do, you're going to gently just hold it to one side. Just going to 1 for 10 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it back to the center. And then to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these stretches can be done either sitting, standing, or on the ground if you're sitting on the ground. And Vanessa is going to show you what we're going to be drawing today.
Okay, so here's an example of what we will be drawing today. You do not have to be seated. You can be on the ground. You can be on a table. You can be however you feel most comfortable with. It doesn't have to be on paper and pen. It can be on a tablet if you have one. It can be on pretty much anything you guys would feel more comfortable with. Let me get a blank piece of paper. Okay, so I got my blank piece of paper and we're going to start off with the middle of the flower, which is called the pistil. We're just going to do a circle and then we're going to do a little squiggly like that. And then we're going to start off with 4 petals. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. It can look like anything. It doesn't have to be perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to connect the petals. We're going to go from this petal to that petal, from that petal to that petal, that petal to that petal, and so on. So you go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so now that we have our base, we're going to change it up a little bit. Instead of going from like the end, like the tip of a petal, we're going to go from like the middle to the middle, like this. Middle to middle, middle to middle, and then middle to middle. And then you can see it's starting to come along. It can look like a rose. It can just look like a sunflower. It can look like anything. I like to make mine to look like a rose. You can make it as big as you want or as small as you want and as colorful as you want. I like to make them as big as I want. So I just keep going and going and going. All right. Awesome job, guys.
All right. And then this is what I drew. What did you draw, Grace?
That's beautiful.
I'm
I love it.
not super artistic.
And Angela, did you draw something?
I didn't actually.
Oh, that's okay.
I couldn't get past the first four. So
That's okay. You just need practice.
Mm-hmm.
I think I made my edges a little bit too like curved. I was like, this looks like a daisy.
It can be a daisy. It doesn't have to be a rose or anything.
There you go.
And that's what's important about the painting is that it could be an abstract flower and not all art's perfect. So that's why it's perfect. Okay.
Everyone's creativity is different.
For sure.
And after with that flower with Vanessa, we're going to be doing another drawing with Grace Ann.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So today we're going to also draw an elephant. And so here we go. So we're going to get our pen and our piece of paper, or if you have paint or paintbrush, you can totally use that as well. And I'm going to show you how we're going to draw this right now. Okay. So we're going to start about like halfway along the page. Sometimes it helps if you just draw a line straight across. And that's going to be our middle mark. We're going to make a half circle from one side to the other, kind of like so. And then we're going to make another half circle on top that's a little bit smaller, so it's kind of going to look like a snowman. Something like this. And that's going to be the head. So we can start to see that we've got the head and the body. We're going to draw its two ears. So they're going to look like threes from in the middle of the top part of his head to the middle of the bottom part of his body. So we're going to do a three like this. 1, 2, and then we're going to do a reverse 3 on the other side. That mirrors the first one. Alrighty. And then we're going to draw its trunk. So it's going to be going off of the top part of its head. And it's kind of going to look like a funnel. Kind of like that. And then if you want to kind of design it, you can put like 2 little lines horizontal on the top of his trunk right up there. And we can even do 2 eyes at the very tip top. Basically, it's supposed to look like the back of an elephant. And then we're going to draw its tail. And that goes, it looks like its trunk, it's just mirrored down here on its body. So it's going to look a little bit like this. And we draw 2 little lines like that. And then you can kind of make it pretty creative however you want. We can do some water flowing out of its trunk. Kind of like that. Makes it look like he's blowing out water. And in the background, he could be in like a pond. I don't know if that looks like a pond. And this is kind of when you can let the kids or adults just get creative when it's done on like a canvas when they're painting, but you can do a jungle background. We can do, oh dear, I'm not good with trees. Any type of trees. Palm trees. That's my palm tree. But yeah, so that's pretty much the 101 of how you draw an elephant.
Right.
like we said before, it doesn't have to be perfect or exact or anything.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you can just be creative and do what you want.
There you go.
That's
Every
mine.
Every elephant's an elephant.
Oh, I
That's
love
mine.
it. It looks great. Yay. All right, good job, you guys.
All right. And now that our activity is over, we will be going to Grace for the debrief.
Awesome. All right, cool. So my name is Grace Ann, and then yeah, I'm going to be debriefing our activity. Oh, perfect. Okay, so what's the benefit of participating in an activity like this? Vanessa did go over the benefits of painting, and this kind of is a little bit redundant, but painting is proven to relieve your stress. It's been proven where when people have a lot of stuff on their mind, just like how people will go out in nature, painting will relieve that stress, and kind of feel centered after doing so. TeresaBrand.com said that painting sharpens the mind through conceptual visualization and implementation, and it also boosts memory skills. So this is good to have. I believe this website was talking about with people with mental health disabilities. That there's just a lot of things that go into painting that people don't realize, like benefits. It also will enhance your motor skills when using the paintbrush. So even if it's not, or even just like a pen, I know cerebral palsy can come in different severities, but just even using the slightest touch of a pen, pencil, paintbrush, it can actually help their motor skills. And it also expresses emotional creativity. So, I mean, you can really just get a blank canvas and go miles with it. You don't ever have to have anything to be exact. As Alejandro said, it can be abstract, be however you're feeling. So how is painting or just this activity inclusive? This activity can be performed with friends and family to create a fun bonding experience. It doesn't need to be with just people, I guess, who have cerebral palsy, so they can bring in their friends and their family members, parents, caregivers. There's no borders either when it comes to painting, so it doesn't matter what gender, race, religion you are. Everyone is kind of welcome. Not kind of, they are. All skill levels are accepted. Clearly, as you can see, I do not know how to draw, so you don't have to know already how to paint or draw to be in our positive painting of palsy. Adaptations can be made to accommodate the severity of the case of cerebral palsy. So if you, Alejandro had mentioned to us earlier that, you know, if you don't have the best motor skills in your hands, we can always do something like finger painting or anything that can just accommodate the severity of the disability.
Or even an art app on a digital iPad or tablet as well.
Yes, definitely. Awesome. Okay. So what are the benefits of having an inclusive environment? There's no judgment. People can feel really comfortable. They can share their thoughts, feelings, emotions. It helps seeing other people also who have a similar disability. Seeing them thrive in a good environment can also like just build comfortability, as I've mentioned. Aaron Aguilar talked about the benefits of inclusion in an article, and it had to do with people in disabilities. And he stated that inclusion can build friendship skills, peer models, problem-solving skills, positive self-image, and respect for others. And this can trickle down to their families as well, teaching parents and families to be more accepting of differences. He, in this article, was really talking about children, but he was saying it's general for all. But when children are surrounded with people who have disabilities, it kind of makes them more accepting. But definitely being in an environment where everyone is welcome can definitely build friendship skills for people, especially with a disability where maybe they don't leave the house as much. If it's more severe and stuff like that, it can be a place to make friends and peers. So what programs are available that currently serve these populations? I did find camps and such like that, but I also found a lot of different types of therapy which are still like can be recreation related. And so cerebralpalsy.org talked about that the types of therapies vary based on a person's unique needs and the type of cerebral palsy. I know Alejandro mentioned there's different types of cerebral palsy earlier. Also, to the extent of impairment and associated conditions, therapy can also help the parents and the caregivers. So I go over the different types of therapies. I just talked about a couple of them because they go into extreme depth on this website, cerebralpalsy.org. But we have different ones like acupuncture, aquatherapy, which improves physical functioning. I spelled that wrong. But it doesn't place undue stress on the musculoskeletal system from forces such as gravity and body weight. So it's good to be in water just because, one, we're all floating, but also you don't have to put, you know, much stress on the body. There's also behavioral therapy, chiropractic intervention, conductive education, hippotherapy, intensive suit therapy, massage therapy that can really relieve stress from the body. Music therapy. Music does actually wonders for people with mental health disabilities, but also just like physical disabilities in general. It can relieve stress on the body, but also the mind. Nutrition and diet plan counseling, occupational therapy. Maybe there's some more on the next slide. Awesome, thank you. Physical therapy and physiotherapy, play therapy. Play therapy was pretty interesting. I looked into that. It's teaching, mostly it's kind of for children, but it's teaching them inclusion, emotional support, and self-expression. With cerebral palsy, sometimes that there's a little bit of lack of the emotions and self-expression, supposedly. And so they try to kind of enhance that when they have play therapy. There's also recreation therapy, respiratory therapy, and then sensory integration therapy. I thought this was actually really interesting. I looked into this one. But basically, they implement new sensory processing approaches that organize multiple sensations, filter out background stimuli, and compensate for deficits in perception. So let me just minimize my screen because I wanted to talk about this. And they were talking about how the senses that are sometimes disordered with children who have cerebral palsy are vision, auditory, so for like hearing, olfactory, which is like their smell, tactile or somosensory touch, which is touch, somosensory, which is touch, okay. Oral, taste, vestibular processing, which they stated was unconscious information obtained through the inner ear for equilibrium, position in space and gravity, and proprioception processing, which is unconscious information obtained by the muscles and joints regarding your position in space, the weight of objects, the pressures felt, the stretch, the body movement, and position changes. So they mentioned that a child's sensory processing is problematic, and we're talking about with cerebral palsy, if they're over responsive, so if they're avoidance, cautious, they're fearful, they could be under responsive, so withdrawn, passive, or difficult to engage, or sensory seeking, so they're impulsive and maybe they take risks. So really, let me go back to the screen. Okay. Really, sensory integration therapy is just to help these people with cerebral palsy kind of regain that, since that's just something that they're lacking. So I thought that was really interesting. They also have social therapy programs, speech and language therapy programs, and vocational counseling programs. So there's many programs out there for cerebral palsy. I should say there's many types. I'm not sure exactly finding it in your local area if they're so accessible. But this site at cerebralpalsy.org, I believe you can click on that, and I think that you're able to find a place near you or something of that matter. I believe. I could be wrong. But yeah, so that is our debriefing section. And yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed our presentation. I think that wraps up anything, and then if we have any questions, we can have people answer in class. Or ask in class.
All right.